So basically what we saw there was 204 horsepower roughly. Everybody, it's your good buddy 650 Ebe here, and I'm in the garage at Ducati Detroit, and we're about to do something really special and fantastic here today. We're going to put my previously owned Ducati V4 Speciale that you see right behind me, we're going to toss that on the dyno and compare it to my brand new 2019 Ducati V4R and find out which one of these motorcycles makes more horsepower. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you're already a subscriber, tap that bell so you can be notified when new content is uploaded. So we got Art's V4 Speciale. They're going to remove the panel so that they can access the lead that'll give them an accurate torque and horsepower reading on the motorcycle. Outside in the courtyard here, we have my beautiful 2019 Ducati V4R, and after we put Art's bike on the dyno, we're gonna put that 6 Savage on the dyno and see who's the boss. Alright Nick, so we're gonna put Art's V4 Speciale here on the dyno, it already is. And now we're going to see how much horsepower it produces. In this dyno run, we're not going to be able to see torque because we don't have leads attached to whatever the hell they're supposed to be attached to.
Yeah, we're just going to show horsepower, which is really what most people care about. And it'll also show the air-fuel ratio to see how the factory setup is with this exhaust.
Okay, sweet. Art's V4 Speciale. Highest number today, Ducati Detroit, was 194 horsepower at this beautiful rear Super Corsa SP wheel and tire. Pretty nice. 194 horsepower, huh, Nick?
That's a lot of power. It feels strong, that's for sure.
How does that graph look to you?
The curve looks great. The air fuel is extremely rich up top, like a whole full point.
Okay.
So it's down on at least a few horsepower without a doubt.
Wow.
That's just from the fuel changes. Timing changes would definitely bump it up too.
Okay.
So yeah, the bike itself could certainly use a tune because it's running 12.0 up top, and most bikes typically like around like 13.2, 13.3 in that area.
Okay.
So yeah, it's got some power left, that's for sure.
All right. Next up, my V4R. Let's see what that baby does on this beautiful dyno. So basically what we saw there was 204 horsepower roughly, 203, 65, 204. And the reason why we gave this bike a couple extra pulls is because it was still making more power as we went on. And on the last pull, it went back down to 202, probably because the bike was getting a little hot, so we stopped that. But can you put the two graphs on top of each other so we could see what we need to see? So now we've got the best pulls from both motorcycles here on the screen. The Ducati 1103 V4 Speciale produced 194 horsepower at the rear wheel for its best run. And my V4R produced 203.65 horsepower for its best run. But what does this graph mean, Nick?
Basically, his mid-range, if it was based on speed, which this one is, he makes horsepower faster than your bike makes horsepower.
Okay.
Which means he's gonna accelerate harder. But if it was like a crazy top end run, it'd be this bike.
Yes.
If it was more like getting off the line to the first corner, it's gonna be the other bike.
Wow. Well, I'm all about the smackdowns, top end runs. So
this bike will top end with that much power.
This is the smackdown bike, indeed. Wow. And you were saying at about 10,000 RPM, the V4 1103 was making roughly 18 more horsepower than the 998.
Yeah, if I had to guess, this is probably around 8,000, 8,500, and it's right at 20 wheel horsepower.
Wow.
Yeah.
20 more horsepower.
That's significant. You know,
that really is. Wow. Is that something that gearing could change?
No, it doesn't change horsepower. It just changes the way you accelerate.
Okay.
So you can make this bike accelerate faster by going like down one up front or doing a, plus 2 or 3, whatever in the rear, but it doesn't change the power output of the bike.
Yes.
So I'm quite surprised it made that much more mid-range than this one did.
It's got a lot more CCs. It has basically 105 additional CCs.
Right.
So
your tune is a little more wavy than his is as an air fuel.
okay.
Both bikes are still really rich. So either way, both bikes will still benefit from a tune no matter what.
I agree. I totally agree. Well, that's outstanding.
Which means I need to make a trip out here with some Ducati hardware.
Yes, you do. You certainly do. You'd have a lot of customers waiting for you here at Ducati Detroit.
We can schedule that.
Sweet. Well, you heard the man. Stay tuned for an update on that. Thank you, Nick, for not tuning, but for running these two bikes.
No problem.
Greatly appreciated.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the progress of my good buddy Art's bike. They removed the, another thing too, guys. We couldn't show you torque readings today because our normal Ducati tech, my good buddy Connor, that usually does these pulls, had to go to a wedding. So we couldn't exactly find the leads to attach to get torque readings. So today's dyno is just horsepower. Now, we will be back at Ducati Detroit. This is my home shop, so I'm here all the time. And we're going to have an amazing dyno shootout with some great bikes coming up real soon. And we're going to show horsepower and torque for that dyno shootout. We may very well get our hands on an Aprilia RS-V4 1100 factory to see how it does against Art's V4 Speciale and my V4R, amongst other bikes. And that should be a pretty good dyno shootout, so stay tuned for that. That's going to do it for us here at Ducati Detroit today. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you're already a subscriber, tap that bell so you can be notified when new content is uploaded. The bike performed great. It was really awesome on this dyno. It picked up roughly 3 horsepower since I had it tuned a little while ago when the bike had just 30 miles on it. Still haven't had my first service done or an oil change. And you can see here that this bike has 200 miles exactly on the clock. So just 200 miles, and it's producing even more horsepower than it did previously. We'll catch you guys later. Thanks so much for viewing. Stay tuned for future dyno shootouts here at Ducati Detroit.